Why do so many teams start with a back four, but end up building with a back three, and why does that single change completely alter pressing resistance, passing angles, and control? Let's take a look. Before we begin, let's take a moment to understand the back four. In a back four system, we oftentimes see modern clubs setting up in a 4-3-1 formation. So when we say a team plays a back four, that's only true without the ball. The real question is, what shape do they take when they start building from deep? And this is where the back three build-up comes in. Let's break this down step by step, starting with how teams actually create the back three. On paper, most teams don't actually set up in a back three, with a few exceptions. The most common shape we see is the 4-3-1, but once the game starts, many of these teams build in a 3-2 shape. The back three is created in-game, not on the team sheet. Then a separate idea, and this isn't accidental, it's a form of tactical deception. By hiding their true build-up structure, teams force the opposition to read the game in real time, rather than preparing for it beforehand. And that delay alone can be enough to establish early dominance. The back three is formed in different ways by different teams, so let's take a look. For teams with very athletic fullbacks, one of the midfielders often drops in between the two center backs, forming a back three. This allows the fullbacks to express their athleticism higher up the pitch, like Arsenal. Teams with more technical and defensively secure fullbacks take a different approach. One fullback joins the two center backs to form the back three, while the opposite fullback pushes higher, like Chelsea. Modern clubs are obsessed with building up from the back because it reduces the 50-50 risk that comes with going long, and instead allows for better ball retention. But for build-up to be effective, teams need sufficient numbers deep. This increases passing options and improves passing angles. And if possession is lost, the back three structure is already positioned to protect central spaces and control transitions. When the opposition look to press a back three, it highlights why this structure is effective both in and out of possession. Under pressure, the back three increase the distance between themselves, stretching the pressing shape of the opposition. At the same time, the two pivots drop deeper from midfield, positioning themselves to receive and bypass the press. This means that during build-up, a back three system often creates a 5-player base. And for the opposition to press effectively, they would need to commit 5 players themselves, which immediately reduces their defensive cover in behind. All of this makes the back three sound like the perfect shape for modern football, right? Well, not quite. In many cases, the opposition will intentionally sit off in a mid-block or a low block, allowing the back three to have possession. In these situations, the back three build-up can actually become a waste of personnel, with too many players positioned deep against a non-existent press. Another weakness appears when the player profiles within the back three are inaccurate. The opposition can exploit this by pulling the structure apart, so let's go a bit deeper. An effective back three needs two athletic and aggressive defenders who operate wide of the ball as center backs. If one of these profiles is missing, it leads to weaker penetration in possession and leaves space in and around the wide areas for the opposition to attack. An example of a well-executed back three build-up can be seen in Chelsea's game against Crystal Palace. Chelsea were consistently able to bypass Palace's press, which forced Palace to drop deeper and allowed Chelsea more time and space on the ball. However, an example of where the back three build-up fails can also be seen with Chelsea. In their Champions League match against Napoli, Napoli were able to press aggressively and exploit the wide areas, forcing errors and preventing Chelsea from progressing cleanly from the back.